They are pretty big, aren't they? We're spending this week trying to get the field down here fenced. So we've mowed out a little path and put our markers down. We're setting the post out now so that we can go along with the post driver and get them in. Spring and fall around here are the best time to get your fence posts in. It's when the ground is wet enough you can drive them in. So we're going to be doing gluten-free waffles. This is actually a regular waffle recipe. We just use gluten flour for it. I'll leave in the comments the recipe for the gluten-free flour, and I'll leave the recipe for a smaller batch of this. I had mentioned in a previous video that we try to store things for convenience and use. So for this recipe, we're going to be using a whole gallon of flour, a full quart of applesauce in place of vegetable oil. This works really well for things like muffins, waffles, any baked goods. You can use applesauce in place of vegetable oil for a slightly healthier option. Our cow's not in milk, so we're going to be using a gallon of store-bought milk, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, and some farm fresh eggs. If you're using your own eggs, we store ours at room temperature and just wash them before we use them. When they're laid, they have a protective coating that helps them store longer, so don't wash that off until you're ready to use it. I would still recommend using it within about a week or so, unless you're, glassing them or something like that. So let's get started.
too hard.
That's okay. The girls are doing the eggs for us, and we're going to go ahead and start everything else. So
Yay.
Lance is going to put the milk in for us.
I did one shower. Well,
You want to speak closer?
actually,
Let me help move your chair closer. There we go. And just carefully pour that in, please.
how much?
The whole thing. Oh, careful, careful, careful. Ooh.
Ooh, chubby. There, I put another on
Good
there.
job. And
And
I'll
what
let you do
are
the
the-
next one.
Can I help pour some of it in?
You're going to be doing the eggs.
Oh,
But you can help with some of the other stuff in
Is
just a
he?
minute.
Does he have to do the whole entire carton again?
Yep, the whole carton again.
Each carton
Careful,
is
Lance. You
half
gotta be
a
gentle with it,
gallon.
though, okay? Yep, each one's half a gallon. So we're doing 1 gallon of milk.
And 1
And
gallon
16
of flour.
eggs.
That's a lot of milk.
That is a lot of milk. Hey, don't shake it too much. We don't want to make a mess.
Ooh.
No. And we're going to do 1 quart of applesauce. I have to get you a spatula for it, okay?
How much do that mean?
That means the whole jar. That's a quart jar. So you can go ahead and dump that in. This is thick applesauce, so you might have to use the spatula. So. There you go.
Hey, can you do your
Try not to
arm
splash,
and I'll
okay?
wash my
Let me help you with it so it doesn't splash and make a huge mess.
Can you hold our jar for
Yeah.
me?
I'll hold the jar. Good job. Now let me scrape this real quick, okay? Alright.
That's a lot of apple. It's mostly milk.
It is, you're right.
Maybe we do a bigger bowl.
It is a big bowl. We got these bowls as a catering company was going out of business. It is a great time when you see sales like that to stock up on commercial sized pieces, even scoops like this one. It's not something you would find in the normal, Bed Bath & Beyond, Walmart, Target, any of our normal stores around here, but they are extremely handy for making things on a large scale. Alright, so next is half a cup of, you can use white sugar or brown sugar. We prefer the brown sugar for it. So, let's do that one.
Can I dump it?
Yep, I'll let you dump it.
Did it? I'm not a eater.
No, that's good, that's good. There we go, I'll let you dump it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but close to half a cup there.
Come out. Whoop. I tipped it in and clumped out.
You did it.
Without waking.
Without breaking, that's really good. How are the eggs going, Jenny?
Good.
Good.
Now Elizabeth's gonna do one more egg. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my last egg.
I almost forgot the baking powder. Let me get that real quick.
For the whack.
Alright, so...
Then, the last egg's yours, Liza.
Alright, so we're going to do 5...
Do you want me to mix it?
In just a minute, okay? We're going to do... I'm going to do the baking powder because it can be a little bit trickier to make it level. We're going to do 5 tablespoons of baking powder. You count them for me?
1, 2. Can you eat them, Mama?
In just a minute.
3, 4. Died.
Good job. So that's
6.
all of them. That's 6. Now y'all can gently start mixing it. This is really liquidy at this point, so we've got to be gentle mixing it.
I like to be mixed.
And then need 2 teaspoons of salt. So that's going to be about 1. You can do 2 little ones. There we go. And if you've never used a salt keeper, I would highly recommend them, and just get used to salting things with your hands. It's a lot easier than you might think. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it. I would recommend, if you're starting out, measuring out the amount of salt you need and putting it in your hand so you can feel how much it is. And over time, you'll get used to how much a teaspoon or half a teaspoon is, and you won't have to measure for all the little measurements.
I know the pepper makes me sneeze.
Pepper can make you sneeze. So the last thing for us to add is a gallon of flour. And this is partly why I like having them in large containers, is that I can do large scale recipes like this, and I don't have to go through and measure every little cup. A lot of our recipes are rough recipes, I guess you could consider it. It doesn't matter if it's off by a small amount of flour, but it definitely helps with not taking as long to make larger recipes like this. So I'm going to help sprinkle this in here because it is pretty full.
We're going to use it all?
Yep. Whoops, sorry.
I thought it was going to get me.
And these are pickle jars that my Aunt Tammy gave me, so a huge thank you to her. But if you are using gallon-sized pickle jars or know someone that are, they make great dry storage in your pantry.
It really does stink.
It does.
This bowl is really full.
Hey,
why didn't
do it right here real quick.
Oh, I thought it was
Dirty
even
dishes
in that.
out of the way. Yep, that's okay. That is all right.
It's hard.
Careful not to get the whisk all the way in there. You don't want to lose it. It'd be easy to lose in a big batch like that. All right, so this waffle maker comes with a scoop that you can measure out. If you fill it up halfway, it'll make 1. If you fill it up all the way, it'll make 2 waffles. If you can find a scoop for any of your recipes like this that has the right amount for 1, it really makes it go a lot quicker. So this does 1 waffle. It's a half a cup scoop. We're just gonna spray these. And then you can just scoop it, and it goes a lot quicker that way. So our first batch is done. With any of the non-stick waffle makers, you want to be really careful not to touch your metal utensils and scrape the non-stick portion of it. So we're going to scoop these up and get them out. And as you can see with the Belgian style, they are really nice and thick.
And my water.
Yep, give me just a second. We're going to spray it down one last time and get the next set going. We're down to the last waffles here. Once these are done, we're gonna let them cool off completely and put them in Ziploc freezer bags. And as we're ready to use them, we'll just take them out and stick them in the toaster oven. I'm sure you could use a microwave to heat them up as well. We really like the toaster oven. We don't use microwaves here. But the toaster oven gets it nice and crispier on the outside when you reheat it. Just something to consider if you wanna put some away in your freezer.